Hello, everyone. X-Wall Kill Bethelite here. And the question I've heard somewhat popular online, it's been like that for a long time, where you have videos about why do good girls date bad guys, or why do women date thugs and whatnot. And growing up Jehovah's Witness, correct me if I'm wrong, but guys do the exact same thing. There's no difference between the genders as far as that's concerned, because we had like some of the strictest dating rules there were growing up in that cult of Jehovah's Witnesses, where you're dating somebody, they have to be in the exact same religion. It can't just be Christian. You can't even date Christians. You had to date a Jehovah's Witness. You had to have chaperones with you if you went somewhere on a date. And I remember there being single sisters that pioneered in everything. Yet you had Jehovah's Witness guys going to the strip club. Now, for a Jehovah's Witness, I mean, a strip club is as bad as it gets. A strip club is the polar opposite. The polar opposite of the type of woman you've been taught to pursue. Not just the strip club, but the club in general. Like these wild clubs in general is the polar opposite. Yet you would have, I mean, come on now, I done seen and heard, I don't know how many times. I mean, this has got to be somewhat prevalent, where you get a group of Jehovah's Witness guys together, and eventually in that car gets quiet, and somebody's like, hey, y'all want to go to the strip club? Next thing you know, that car is doing a U-turn, and they got a car group going to the strip club. Then you go into the strip club, and when you in there, you looking around because you worried there's going to be another Jehovah's Witness in there, and y'all going to notice each other. And it's going to be like, well, why in the world are you in the strip club? Well, why are you in the strip club? I remember after Bethel, and I'm trying to find myself, and I'm trying to figure all this out. You know, I'm at Bethel, working whole souled for God and whatnot, and the next thing you know, Watchtower just starts putting people out of Bethel. Wait a minute, what's going on here? How does this work? And I went to a club, first time going to this club. I went with a friend of mine who was also raised Jehovah's Witness. Didn't know what to expect at this club. I go into the club, and I knew everybody. I knew everybody in the club. This is a club with like the wild music and whatnot. And I kid you not, I'm in the club, like I raised Jehovah's Witness, hadn't been to a club like that. And I'm like a little bit nervous as to who's going to be there, what's going to go on in there. I walked into the club, and it was like walking into a Kingdom Hall. Multiple guys I knew. There was a girl in there, and she knew me through other Jehovah's Witnesses. So I'm talking to her, and then another guy walks past and says hello to me, and I say hi back, and she looks at the guy, and she's like, you know him? Like, People in the club was surprised how many people I knew growing up, JW. Like, Jehovah's Witness guys do the exact same thing that so many people online accuse women of doing. And that is dating what is not traditionally supposed to be a dating partner, like dating a bad boy. Oh my goodness. I remember Jehovah's Witness sister, and young, same age as all the guys. And I don't recall her ever getting married. She may be married now. I don't know. But I'm talking years and years and years and years. And I don't remember her ever being married, but I remember her knocking on them doors like she was supposed to. She was at the hall regularly like she was supposed to. But at the hall, you would see guys bring in girls from out there. They would bring in girls that you ain't never seen before because they're not Jehovah's Witness. You got these sisters here at the hall going door to door, putting in pioneer hours, but yet you got a guy that goes out of the hall, finds a girl that's not a JW, brings her to the meeting with him once they get serious enough. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's people not wanting what is I don't know how to put it, but if a person is attracted to something, they don't care. They don't care if it's considered bad or not. They don't. Matter of fact, I remember when I was at North Congregation, and I don't know who this sister was, but there was a sister that came in, sat all the way in the back, and I think I was an attendant, and one of the other attendants told me that, this sister was disfellowship. Whatever hall she was from, she was disfellowship, and she came to visit on a Sunday meeting. And attendance, we like to, especially at that hall, we like to kind of know what's going on. If somebody's there and they're disfellowshipped or something like that, attendants are probably going to tell each other, okay, that's this person, this is that person. So this sister went and sat in the back, and it was pretty obvious she was disfellowshipped because Jehovah's Witnesses use shunning, where they will flat out turn their back on somebody if the elders or organization tells them to. And nobody was talking to this woman. But as she was walking around, like when she would walk to the bathroom and whatnot, and back to her seat, all the guys, I'm talking attendants, elders, servants, all the guys was watching her as she walked because she was attractive. She was super attractive, but yet you have a religion that will literally designate this person is a bad person. Do not talk to them. This girl was under that designation. People outside of that religion, you don't really have anything that will designate a person as this is a bad person. You know what I mean? Sometimes people don't know. Now, in that cult of Jehovah's Witnesses, they designate people as bad. Don't talk to them. This was one of them. All the guys was turning their heads when she walked by. All the guys was interested. I could tell. I was fighting the urge not to look at this sister back then. She was and I guarantee you, the primary reason nobody talked to her was social. It was social. It was public. If any of those guys saw her outside of the hall, yeah, they're talking to her because nobody's watching them now. So the whole concept of dating a bad boy or hell, a bad girl or whatever, that don't matter to either gender. It doesn't. There was a singer, R&B singer, Anne Marie, and it's alleged on the internet, at least, that she shot somebody in the head. I guess from what I saw online, her story was she was getting her towel off a table. A gun that was on the table with the towel fell on the ground, and somehow by falling on the ground, it went off and shot somebody dead in the head. That's her story, but it's alleged, and I think it's somewhat popular belief that she probably shot the guy in the head, and she spent some time in jail. I guarantee you, it is widespread knowledge that Anne Marie was in prison for a period, going through all this stuff with the legal system in regards to shooting a guy in the head. And I guarantee you, when she's done with all that, if she gets all that stuff cleared tomorrow, she will have no shortage of options of guys. Guys will pursue a girl just based off how she look. We don't care if Anne Marie will have plenty of options. I bet you, I guarantee you, when all this stuff is done, the only reason Anne Marie may or may not have a boyfriend, husband, whatever, is if she chooses not to, because her DMs will be just as busy as they have always been. I'm growing up Jehovah's Witness. I've never really fully understood the concept of why the question of why do women date bad guys, because I knew growing up that most of the men were not pursuing what they were supposed to pursue. As a matter of fact, most of the men that had wives were pursuing other women outside of their wives. Like, guys were doing it just as much as women were. You got guys that get out of prison and the first thing they get before they get a job at anything else is a girlfriend, right? I think one of the differences with that is just women being more slick as far as things like that. Because if guys knew to do that, they'd be parked outside the freaking prison. I kid you not. They would hang out outside the prison if there was a door that women just came out of the prison when they would get released. There would be guys hanging out outside the prison, checking out every girl as they came out there. Oh, I'm talking to her. I know she ain't got no guy because she just came out the prison. She was in the jail for 10 years. So I know she ain't got no guy. I guarantee you it don't matter if she was in there for murder. If you walk up and talk, if a guy walks up and talks to a girl and, hey, what's your name? You from around here? And she's like, no, I've been in prison for the past 8 years. I'm just trying to get my bearings. Oh, well, let me help you. Oh my gosh. I mean, I don't understand the question of why the women date bad boys, where Jehovah's Witness guys that ain't even allowed to have sex go to strip clubs, have the stripper sitting right on their lap and have a nice long conversation. And if it was humanly possible in their cognitive abilities to figure out how, that would be their girlfriend. That would be their girlfriend. I don't know how many y'all comment down below. Tell me the truth, because we keep it real here. Tell me the truth. How many Jehovah's Witness men, if they could go out to a strip club and say that they're quote unquote trying to preach, and they talk to these strippers and they're trying to get them to date them and come to the hall with them, how many of them would do it? Darn near everybody. Darn near everybody. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. I'm talking about a strip club where the women actually look good. Not the real sleazy ones where everybody's not all that. Tell the truth. All these Jehovah's Witness guys would walk right past all these sisters knocking on doors and going out and driving around and pioneering and whatnot. And if that was a thing that they were allowed to do that, they would all be at the strip club and they would all be, I wouldn't say all, but I'd say a large number. If it was allowed to do that, a large number of them would be at the strip club and they be with their stripper girlfriend sitting next to them at the Kingdom Hall. If trying to proselytize strippers was a thing, that's what they would be doing. Hey, I'm at the club. I'm working territory at the strip club. If they could do that, every 90% of JW men would be pioneers. Comment down below. Let me know what you think. I know it's a big thing with Jehovah's Witnesses going to strip clubs because that's one of the things with ex-Jehovah's Witnesses when you leave is it's going to the strip club. Let's go to the strip club. So let me know what you think. Comment down below because I hear it all the time with especially like, let's say something happens to a woman. Let's say a woman gets killed or something like that, and they're always like, well, why was you with that guy? Why was you knew he was violent? Why was you with him? I remember in some of Anne Marie's interviews, because I looked at her interviews, I thought she was cute. I remember in some of her interviews, she would kind of say that anger was an issue. I don't know if she worded it quite that way, but she talked about she been in fights and stuff like that. It wasn't hard to put one and one together that this is not the type of person you really want to be on a bad side. And it would not stop it would not stop anybody. It would not stop anybody. I remember back in the day, I don't know about right now, but let's just be honest. Like the whole Cardi B's, all those type people, it wouldn't matter if they had anger issues. It wouldn't matter. So if something happens to a guy like it did with the guy that got shot in the head, it's alleged that she shot him in the head. I mean, there ain't too many people talking about why was you with her. They know why he was with her. She's super attractive. That's why. And she can sing. That's why. He didn't care. He didn't care. He didn't care. He probably, whoever it was, I mean, let's just assume she told him that she don't mess with her. That ain't gonna stop him. So yeah, comment down below. I mean, what do you think about why do women date bad guys or guys that like are what people categorize as thugs and whatnot? Why is that a question when guys will date a stripper, guys will date a escort, guys will date? If this woman was a hit woman, they would date her if she looks good. Let's be honest. I mean, I heard a story about, I can't remember the name, but some woman was either a boxer or a UFC fighter, one or the other, and she beat her guy to death. I think she is charged with it. I don't think it's so much alleged anymore. If I could think of the names, I would. But I saw a picture of her and she was holding up her arms, and yeah, she was built. And I think her husband was like rich. But when you look at her, it's like, yeah, she built. She could do some damage. You know she got that mean streak in her. Otherwise, she wouldn't be a fighter. Common sense. And the guy dated her anyway. Even though she's freaking a professional fighter probably. And she beat him to death. Like with a object. She just cracked him to death. And I mean, he had to been thinking while that pipe or whatever it was colliding with that melon, he had to be thinking, man, I knew she was a professional fighter. I knew if I set her off, I wouldn't have no chance. Come on now. Everybody does it. To my knowledge, at least. Everybody does it. I made a video before talking about guys that don't work and stuff like that. I'm not talking about guys that girls find super attractive and stuff like that. I'm talking about the deadbeats. I'm talking about people that don't, like these sloppy dudes where when I was saying, why do women date? I can't remember what the exact name of the title was. Guys that don't have no job. Man, I'm talking about the lowest of the low. I'm talking about these dudes that don't look good. They like, oh, you got guys that's overweight, don't have no job, living off their girlfriend, ain't even graduated high school, and got anger problems and cause issues. I'm talking about guys that's just a complete total wreck. There ain't nothing good about them at all. That was my video before as to why the women date. Just complete messes of like, it's just a complete slob. This is not somebody that's even attractive really. But they'll date them. They'll go to work while this sloppy guy stays at home and plays PlayStation and Xbox. That's what I didn't understand. But as far as dating people that you like, that's attractive, but they got a sketchy past, everybody does that I know of. Or at least growing up Jehovah's Witness. Man, come on. Come on. We would go to restaurants after field service, and the younger guys at least, man, they be after the waitresses way more than they was after the sister pioneering at the hall. That's what they was after. They was after something else, something that to them was exciting. They didn't want to just date the sister that was pioneering and whatnot. 937-789-4029. We'll discuss it. X-Wall Kill Bethelite, signing out.